Definitely.
Okay, so I'm sat in the relative warmth of Chris's bivvy.
Relative warmth.
And they're making their mixes up at the moment.
For the catfish?
For the catfish. Chris's is comprising of, what's yours comprising of, Chris?
Right, so I've got some big 21mm halibut pellets.
Yeah.
Some cubed up luncheon meat. Some hybrid boilies, which have got there like a fish meal boilie, and they got activating.
Yeah.
Got some worms in there, but you can't really see them very well. Sort of bulked it out with some marine halibut pellet ground bait and lots of pellets. And I think
have you got some sweet corn attractor in there as well?
Yeah, can you smell it?
Yeah, you can.
It's overpowered everything. Look, I've got that in there.
That's why I would never ever put it in anything else.
I've got some red krill in there.
Right. Okay.
And some predator stuff, which I've used it all. That's this stuff here. Predator Plus.
Okay, yeah.
And then I put that in, and it's overpowered all of it, and I didn't put much of it in.
Yeah, that stuff stinks.
It's super strong, that stuff.
I've never caught a fish using it.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that it'll pull in the smaller fish.
You're hoping it's going to pull in the small fish?
Look at this going on out here as well. Everybody's buzzing, getting baits ready. This guy's chopping up tons of liver.
My bait's already in there. It's like, what's liver's? Whose liver's that?
Pigs. It's.
Bloody hell. That's massive.
It's loads of bits, isn't it? I just bought it and froze it.
So Tom, why are you cutting up bits of liver?
It's just bloody attracting. Stinks. Nice and bloody.
It's nice and bloody and it stinks.
Yeah, that's pretty much
How do you keep it on the hook though?
Double it up, like put a bit of squid on first, bit of liver on. And
so would you hair rig it?
Yeah, hair rig it. Yeah. You can put it straight onto the hook. Like, a lot of people do that. I don't like having a bare hook. I don't like loading the hook up with
bare
stuff.
grills. Can I take?
You like to have a bare hook. This is Tom, by the way. We're going to have a full introduction of Tom later on, but he is our guest today on the bank angling. And oh, and I pressed the zoom the wrong way.
Zoomed into his face.
Yeah, I can see his whiskers, individual whiskers.
That is a bait mix. You can't,
Tom was a friend of ours at Sparshow, it's worth noting, and he lives up near Chris, so we've arranged to have a social together, which is quite nice. It's exceptionally busy here at the moment. It's absolutely lashing it down with rain. I'm glad we're here for 48, and I've just chucked my brolly up before the rain started, thankfully.
Confident. Still.
I don't know if I trust Tom with this knife, to be fair. I think he might end up having a few fingers in his mix in a minute.
Can only help the attraction.
So Tom, do you want to talk us through your mix, mate? What have you got in your mix?
I've got 4mm pellets, little tiny ones. I've got marine halibut pellet ground bait with your bigger ones. Kind of what mil they are now.
Okay.
8mm.
Yeah, they look about 8 or 10mm, don't they?
We'll give you 8mm.
With some of Chris's boilies just in there, just to bulk it out a bit.
Yeah.
Got the worms in there as well.
Yep.
A bit more. Going to put some liver in there now, and might even chop up a roach, depending on whether I fancy or not.
Ah. So
got this red krill attractant as well.
You're on the red krill attractant as well, are you?
Yeah.
It does smell.
It smells just like crabs, shellfish.
Well, that's krill is shellfish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that should be good. Hopefully that'll do you a cat or two.
Yeah, should be.
It'd be good to have a bit of action for the cameras, hopefully.
I don't know what else would work.
No, I don't think anybody's got any rods out yet. I'm probably closest to doing it, but
I'm miles away.
I'm ready to put a bait on now. I've just got to decide which one I want to put where.
yeah.
I think I'm going to fish for carp first anyway for a while.
Well, I'm going to
easy.
go back to my bivvy and talk you through what I've been putting in, and it's a totally different approach to these two, and we'll go from there.
See what comes out best.
We'll see which mix attracts the best fish. Well, as I said, my mix is totally different. I'm going for kind of a particle approach. I've got this bucket of party mix with some boilies and some pellet and some ground bait, and some hemp oil and some Vitalin in there. I've put in probably about 1 kilo of that over each spot so far. It's what's left over from earlier on in the week from my trip to Pixie Pond. And then I've got maggots. And then I've got 2 lots of pellet. I've got some 2mm little tiny micro pellets, and I've got some 21mm pellets. I put just about 5 or 6 21mm pellets, and I don't want to go putting too much in. Loads of the 2mm pellets have gone in, and the maggot, and also this. And the idea is hopefully I can get the silverfish attracted into here, which will hopefully attract the catfish in, because the catfish are predators, and hopefully we can have a cat on it. I've tied my rigs up already. I've got one that's kind of like, I've tied it with quite a small pellet on. That's a 12mm pellet, piece of fake corn, and some maggots on the end. And the whole idea behind that, it's got a size 8 mugger, a little bit of shrink tubing as a kicker, and it's about 1.5 foot long. And that's so that, you know, hopefully if I don't pick any cats up, I can probably pick a carp up on that. And then the other one is the polar opposite. I've got a 21mm donkey choker with a piece of fake corn, and it's encased in the PVA at the moment, but it's a size 6 wide gape X. And the reason that I've got PVA around it is because it's just a standard hair rig, and the hair's a bit loose on the back of the hook, so that it gives the hook extra movement, and the PVA will stop the hair from tangling on the cast, and will ensure that my hook point is, you know, is visible when it hits the bottom, when, you know, it's clear of debris. And those little bits of PVA, they'll melt within a minute or two, and you'll be fishing straight away. So I'm going to whack these out in a minute. I've just got to set the other rod up, and my actual rod itself, I've just got main line straight through, and then I've got a big bead, 1.5 ounce lead, quite a light lead. I'm only fishing in the margins, with a little buffer bead, a size 8 swivel, and a quick links, you know, changer, so that I can change my hook links quite quickly if I fancy changing to something different. That's free running because catfish don't like resistance, and I've got my bait running on the lowest setting, the easiest setting to peel line off. So I mean, like, I can just pull in a little bit now and it's pulling line off, and I'm not even pulling straight. And hopefully that'll produce the goods, because it'd be cool to get a catfish on film for any of us, but obviously I'd quite like it to be me. Just gonna tell you about the little adjustments that I made to it. Right, the first thing that I've done, obviously got the size 8 mugger with the kickback, pellet, sweet corn and maggot. I've stripped back the braid so it's coated at the eye, so that it's got a supple hair, but this here is here to, you know, it's going to be abrasion resistant if a catfish picks it up. Then I put 2 pieces of putty on, and the whole idea is that when I cast it out, it's going to land nice and flat on the lake bed, and those pieces of putty are going to hold it down on the deck. It's going to be nice and flat. The only thing that I've added to it is a small PVA bag. Just going to nick that on the hook. That's just going to make sure that the hook point's not covered in debris when it hits the bottom. So I'm totally confident that it's presented well for a bite. And that's how we do it.
What are you hoping to get on that one, Kev?
Anything really. I've made it small so that the catfish can pick it up, or the carp. So one or the other, fingers crossed.
Right, so here we are in Kev's swim. First bit of action. He's been getting loads of liners on his maggot rig, and it's actually torn off properly.
It's just gone.
And he's got a nice carp on.
I was hoping for a moggy, but I'm happy for a carp.
It's not a bad fish, double.
It's fighting quite well. I'm impressed. I thought it was a cat. It was tearing line off a second ago.
Everybody getting overexcited thinking that Kev had a catfish on, but we don't mind catching carp as well. He's got a bit of an audience now because this is the first fish since we've been here that we've seen anyone catch.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Kev. We knew that one. Oh, it's not a bad. That's a decent fish, that. Mid double.
Nice one. Thank you very much, Tom, for doing the honours there.
Alright, Kev, happy with that? Mirror. Not quite as big as I first thought, but it's still a double.
Yeah, he's about £12.
Good start.
Not a bad little start of the day.
Well done, Kev.
Going to get him back, and hopefully we can have something a bit bigger. Maybe even a cat, you never know.
Well, you've got the whole night to come, haven't you?
Well, you've got, what, nearly 48 hours yet, so we've got plenty of time to improve.
Just have a little look along him.
But it's a good little start.
Yeah, lovely fish. Well done, Kev.
Nicely done.
Got everybody off the mark. Well done, Kev. Wow.
Right.
The team up and running.
Let's put him back.
Right, so Kev's just putting this feisty mirror back. He's desperate to get out.
There you go.
Go shooting up the margin.
Not a bad little start there. Not a bad start at all. Well, it's a shame I didn't just catch it on camera. 3 of these just came into my bivvy and said hello. Trying to knock my buckets over for some grub. While I was having a nap. So as dusk is falling on our first night, the wind's starting to drop a little bit.
Utley's lobbing out the kebab rig.
Utley's lobbing out his kebab rig.
Out onto the baited area, heavily baited area of the lake. Good depth.
How are we all feeling for tonight? We're feeling optimistic. We've got the old Cronenberg in hand. Are you feeling optimistic, Utley? Are you going to catch? Yeah? He's feeling quietly optimistic. What about you, Christoph?
50-50. No.
I'm feeling pretty quietly optimistic in my corner.
Not overly optimistic. But we'll see. It hasn't fished that well today, so it might fish well tonight.
Well, the wind's starting to drop a little bit. It's not as bad as it was. It's not raining. It's a little bit warmer than it was earlier, actually, I'd say. Any further footage and we'll let you know how we get on. Both my rods are back out. The only changes that I've made is the rigs. Instead of having pellets on, I've now got CC More Odyssey XXX's. I've got 2, a piece of fake corn and some maggots on one rod, and I've got 1, a piece of fake corn and some maggots on the other. The small fish aren't plucking at the maggots like they were earlier on today, which is nice. But other than that, sticking pretty much as I did this morning, so hopefully, you never know, one of those will rip off and we'll have a big moggy on the end. I'll have to let you know how I get on. Well, I absolutely battered it down last night, but I did have a small comment in the night. Chris and Tom are confidently blanking in the in the swims over to my right, but yeah, I've got a feeling that I probably got cleared out by small fish because of my small bait approach. I'm running quite low on bait, so today I'm preparing myself. I've got a tin of mackerel in there, some micro pellet, bread. It's all gone through the crusher, the bread has, and there's a bit of hemp oil, and I'm going to put some boiling water in it so it releases the oils more quickly. and mix it all up, and then I'm going to dollop that into my swim. That's all the bait I've got left. For now, I'm hoping the farmer's got some bait over there, because I've been getting through the bait and I need more. But I'm confident of a few fish today, if I'm quite honest. I've not got the rods in the water at the moment. I'm letting them rest, letting them swim rest, because there's tons of lines all over the place. Fish are all moving about, banging into these lines, and they're all excuse my language, I'll bleep that bit out. You know, with no lines over my baited spots, the fish are able to move in and feed confidently, and there definitely are fish in the area. So the more confident they become feeding there, the easier they'll be to catch. So I'm going to have a cigarette, finish preparing this bait, and then get the rods back out.
Sweet.
Well, I'm staying safely under my umbrella. It's absolutely mashing it down. Tom's just had one shake him off on a chod down the bottom end. I've got a snowman rig on one now, and the same pellet. Oh, it's not pellet anymore though. And as you can see, I'm getting plenty of pecks off the maggots from the small fish. Hopefully that entices the bigger fish into feed, because there's plenty of carp patrolling up and down this margin. There's been loads of bubbling going on, but none. I don't know if it's carp or small fish really, because roach can make as many bubbles as the old carp feeding. So just kind of just leaving them to it, and fingers crossed one of them will rip off in a minute, and I'll have something to show for it. But hopefully not while it's pouring down like this, because it is quite wet. The best thing about this fishery is that you can order food and they bring it to you, and it's cheap too. And they do like a set menu for like breakfast, dinner and tea. Like a big breakfast is like £3.50, and this here, this is gammon, egg and chips, and it only costs £4. And look at how much gammon you get. So it's definitely well worth a visit just for the food.
Well worth a visit just for the grub.
Well, Chris has got himself a hot dog and chips, I think it is, isn't it?
Yep. 2 hot dogs for the price of 1, because they liked me. Oh.
So you got 2 hot dogs and chips for about £3.50.
Yeah.
So, even though we're not doing so well on the fish front this session, we're able to show you plenty of food, and it's good, isn't it, Chris? Yeah, man. At least gone for the turbo breakfast tomorrow. So we'll see how he gets on with that. Well, Chris has decided to fish. There was a few fish boshing in this little bay right at the far side. I'm fishing the snaggy bit, so I'm not too worried about it. Chris interfering with my fishing, and so I said to him, why don't you just chuck a couple of chods up there? And Chris, what have you got on?
A little carp, it looks like.
So that's the end of Chris's blank, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Right here.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Common.
A scrappy common. Just means Tutley's got to get one now to make it a hat trick for the cameras. Any fish is better than no fish at the moment. Whoop. Whoa. Headbutt. Yep. Ideal. Let's get him on the unhooking mat. So Chris has got his little common. He's off the blank now. He's got a little
tiny baby.
Little tiny baby common carp there. It's what, about £6, something like that.
Yeah.
And but it's a good bit of angling really. On a day when nobody's been catching, it's he's done well really, because he's come over and he's, you know, decided to fish. No, he's decided to fish a bit. You know, to move his rods about, and he's actually proactively angled as opposed to everybody else that's just sat in their bivvied and sort of like, you know, chilled out, and it's paid off. So gonna slip him back, Chris?
Yeah. Slipping him. Pop him in. That's nice. There we go. That's more like it.
Kev's gonna lose his
proper mint.
Kev, I hope you haven't left anything open to your sheep in it.
What?
You keep a big sheep.
Oh,
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, you?
what's going on?
Handle stuck.
It's rods.
Snag, innit?
Is it?
Taking it straight in.
It's still kicking though. The flyer. Cool. Whoa. Why is it all blurry? Blurry. Normally, if they're still there when you let the tension off, is when.
Thought he had a belter on that cat rig then.
I dropped it, didn't I?
What have you done?
Dropped the camera.
Is it broke?
It's all blurry.
Do you wipe the lens?
Yeah. Well, thank goodness for that. I thought I broke my camera when I had that run. Looks like it might still be on because it's putting a bit of line out, but it's in that snag, so I'm hoping it's going to work itself out of it. It's a problem with snag fishing. It's always when you've got your back turned that you end up with a take. Just sod's law. But you never know. It might work its way back out. If we're lucky.
It happens, doesn't it? If they're there. Once you give them some slack, sometimes they'll kick and go again. Well, good morning from Kev Swim, the one we thought was going to be the banker last night because the wind was hacking into it, but then it changed and it blew out of it and Kev didn't manage to catch one until now. Well, the wind is blowing back in
and I got the most
and he's nailed another little baby common.
To be fair, I'm glad I didn't get woken up by fish like this all night.
Me and Uttley didn't get woken up by anything. Well, I got woken up by Tom snoring all night. But that one's in the net. It's a pristine little fish though. Don't be so ungrateful, Kev.
I'm not fussy, mate. I'm top bagger.
Everyone else on the lake is really struggling, so Kev's actually gone crazy with free fish.
Big headed.
Literally 10 minutes after he cast out next to that snag. Down there. They've been boshing all along here. All along here, up to about this tree. That's where Kev put his rig. Sweet. Just giving Kev a bit of a beating on the mat.
Just won't stay still. Stay still, little bugger.
Oh dear. Good job he's got an unhooking mat.
This is about the size of the one that I had in the night.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you've had, that's your third carp.
That's my third carp.
Not long left.
Not a lot of time left at all. So, quite welcome.
What'd you catch it on, Kev?
I had it on a nuts about banana, one of my own boilies with a little bit of fake corn, and I'm going to get this little bad boy back ASAP, and hopefully we'll have another one or two out of the snags before we even before I pack up.
Breakfast time in a minute though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Sweet.
Cool beans, man. Well, this is the best way to end a session, really. Just got full English breakfast. Tom's got the mega breakfast back there, which is 4 of everything. But the small breakfast will do me, to be honest. A cup of coffee. And yeah, there's a couple of bubbles and that coming up, starting to stir a bit now that it's time to pack up, which is just typical. The bank holiday anglers have left, the fish have started feeding. But you never know. Watch this space. This could be the last clip of the video. It might not be. Well, we brought Tom down to the Match Lake fishing floaters to avoid the blank. Took him a little while, but he's got there. We had to get the fish's confidence up. But now he's managed to hook one. How does it feel, Tom? Having a fish?
Feels better having a fish now than 2 days without one.
That's bigger than the fish I have.
It's not a bad little simo, that. Got him.
There goes the fly.
Thank goodness for that. So Tom's had his broken his duck. You can lift him up a little bit more, Tom. I can't get your head and the...
He's gonna kick.
So Tom, how does it feel to finally have a fish?
Better than not having a fish.
Well done, mate. You've done all right.
We don't like blanking.
Top bit of dangling there.
Oh dear.
And what about the fish handling?
Fish juggling. He's got an A+ in. Nicely done there, mate. Beauty. Just pop him back. He's full of life, that one.
Right, so it's the last hour and a half of the session. We've moved down, packed everything up, moved down to the Match Lake, and Kev's into a carp now on a little bottom bait rig. It's actually a nicer fish than what he had. That's a decent fish, that. He's just put a little bait down the margins. He's had this hard fighting common.
And it's in the net. Oh, bugger. Nicely done, mate.
Yeah, man. Go and get a mat.
Hey?
I'll go and get a mat.
Right.
Yeah.
So there we go. Nice little flippy little Match Lake common. It's having a bit of a flip there.
Beating you up.
Gonna get him back in, go and have a look down the Carp Lake, and if we can't have anything down the Carp Lake, I'm off back to Devon. So it's ideal. Well, I have fun at Walthamstow Fishery, and now I'm at Birmingham. Oh, I can't wait. It's soon be time to get home.